The candidates running for Albuquerque mayor have promised they're going to shake up City Hall.
They've claimed they will lower the crime rate and increase work opportunities. However, 4 investigates found some who have promised change also accepted campaign contributions from companies that already have a business relationship with the city.
And that is a violation of the city's election code. Investigator Jen French asked the candidates about their questionable contributions.
Whether it's pouring gravel or installing street lamps, the city of Albuquerque has hundreds of contracts with private businesses or law firms. But when you're doing business with the city, you're not allowed to donate to a candidate running for city office. It's to keep contractors from getting too cozy with the next mayor in line.
It is critically important.
If we don't address the small stuff,
that's how we rebuild trust.
The city of Albuquerque has issues with crime.
On a platform of promise,
that crime is out of control.
Mayoral candidates say the city of Albuquerque has gone in the wrong direction.
Well, it means talking to people. It means working with people.
Each one claims he or she has a solution. But we know money talks. So we wanted to see who has been supporting them with cash. We looked at every single contribution made to all 8 mayor hopefuls. That's when we noticed Dan Lewis.
It's time our leaders embrace the grit.
Brian Colon.
Going the extra mile, working to find common ground and smarter solutions.
And Wayne Johnson.
Now we're stuck paying for it.
And have accepted money from companies that have current city contracts. The city charter states you can't do that. Brian Colon accepted donations from Ecor, Star Paving Company, and PG Enterprises, all contractors with the city of Albuquerque, totaling to $11,900.
Were you aware that they had contracts with the city when they donated to your campaign?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. In fact, as soon as we were notified that we had 3 contributions out of 800 or 1,000 contributions that we've received, as soon as we found that out, those refund checks have already been issued. If a company has a contract with the city and you unknowingly accept that contribution, you got to give it back.
We found some business owners wrote checks in their name instead of their businesses. Alejandro Blake gave $2,500 to Colon under his name, but he's also the vice president of Hold My Ticket, which, you guessed it, has a city contract. It's allowed under the city charter, but we wanted to know what Colon thought of the workaround.
How do you explain that to viewers? How is that different from actually accepting a check from a business?
I think that if I were to guess the conversation that surrounded this ordinance, I think the application that we have today where individuals can still give is that I think people believe that if individuals support a candidate, they ought to be able to support them both with endorsements and financially, and individual people have a voice.
I'm Dan Lewis. I'm running for mayor of Albuquerque.
Dan Lewis has been a city councilor for 8 years. Still, he held a campaign event at The Garage, a mechanic shop, last April. The place repairs city vehicles. A couple of those contributions are from The Garage. They have a contract with the city, and one of your events was held at their facility. Were you aware of that at the time?
When we find out, when we're aware of that, and if they're not compliant with the city code, then we give it back and we report it.
Lewis also accepted $2,000 from the city contractor and granite supplier PG Enterprises. The owner of Bixby Electric, also a city contractor, gave Lewis $150. It's very apparent that they have contracts with the city. Were you aware when the owner of Bixby Electric donated to you?
When we are aware of it, we check with the city clerk, we verify it, and then we send the donations back to the donor.
You're the city council president. You've been with city council for a few years. How do you explain that to voters, missing that a business may have a city contract?
Tell them that if they're not compliant with the city code, we send the checks back and we report it.
Wayne Johnson for mayor.
We found mayoral candidate and Bernalillo County Commissioner Wayne Johnson accepted $5,000 from city contractor Mosier Enterprises. He says he didn't know Mosier was a city contractor. Now, after our discovery, he plans on returning the donation. But earlier this month, an ethics complaint was filed questioning why Johnson accepted money from county contractors.
Well, what about county contracts? What's your response to the ethics complaint that was filed Monday?
The ethics complaint on Monday was laughable in many ways, and it's charged under the county code, in that particular case, County Code of Conduct. And that clearly is code of conduct that applies to county races, not to city races.
Johnson says because this is a city race, the city charter specifically states city contractors can't donate, but it doesn't address county contractors.
Are you going to fight the ethics complaint?
Oh, certainly.
All three mayoral candidates tell us they'll abide by the city charter by returning donations from city contractors. But all three say they're keeping donations from individuals who happen to own a business with a city contract. It's up to voters to decide who they want to be calling the shots at City Hall. Jen French, 4 Investigates.